Good morning. Today is Wednesday, March 25th. Yesterday was Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Thursday. And let's take a look at our weather. Well, our weather is snowing, and I know I told you that we're at the beginning of spring, and you're probably wondering, how can this be spring? Well, spring is like that. It can be very, very fussy. Rainy, sunny, snowy. So we'll ride it out for the next few days or so, and I think the weather will be nice again. In the meantime, let's take our deep breaths, okay? Let's do some snowy breaths, snowflake breaths. One more. And now you can do your crazy breath, whatever you want to do. And let's sing our song. We'll do lap, lap, clap, clap. It's time to start our day. It's time to start our day. It's time to give a great big cheer. It's time to start our day. Raise the roof, you guys, and let's get started, okay? I am going to talk to you about amphibians, okay? We talked about reptiles. Now we're going to move on to amphibians. What are amphibians? They're pretty cool. They're actually one of my favorite animals. And I used to have the neatest frog called a white tree frog, and I named him Gump, and he was really fun to hold. So maybe I will try and find another pet to bring into the class, and we'll have a amphibian pet. But amphibians are animals. Let me show you a picture. That have backbones, that are cold-blooded. They're vertebrates, which means the backbone. They spend part of their lives in water and the rest mostly on land. Okay? So here's some types of amphibians. We have a frog, and this is called a caecilian, and it looks sort of like a worm and a snake, but that is an amphibian. Okay, frogs are different from toads. Okay, toads are a little bit different. We have newts, see their funny tail, and salamanders. Okay. Amphibians have what's called permeable skin, which means they lose water through their skin, so they always need to stay near some sort of water source to prevent getting dried out or dehydrated. And being cold-blooded, they need to take care of themselves when it's too cold and when it's too hot. So when it's too hot, I imagine a nice water source would cool them off, huh? Adults have lungs for breathing, but they also breathe through their skin. They lay eggs, and their eggs hatch into tiny larvae. They live in the water, and they have gills for breathing, like fish. Fish have gills. And then they go through some kind of transformation called metamorphosis. Remember that word? We talked about butterflies and caterpillars. I'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. Okay, so they have different stages of their lives. Their diet, well, most of them are carnivores. We know that they eat flies, insects of other types, fish, small reptiles. Some of the bigger frogs can even eat mice. Okay, so here's some pretty amphibians. You may have heard of the poison dart frogs. It's not really a poison that could hurt us, but it's mostly a poison for their predators. All right, so amphibians are pretty cool. I will talk more about the life cycle of the frog tomorrow and have a little activity for you to do. Okay, we're going to move on to letter X as well. I sent home some things for you to make a letter that you can put into your journal when we return. We have an X-ray, and do you remember what this is called? The xylophone. Okay, so I sent some materials home for you to make your very own xylophone. Okay, so it should look like this, and then some type of X-ray. Okay, so work on that today. That'll be a fun activity for you. And I know some of you already used your letter X's for other activities. Not a problem. Just draw a big, thick letter X to make your xylophone. All right, so your work for today is practice your foundations. Look at my foundations video that I posted. And for those of you who sent in the guess of which letter was missing, it was letter V. V, Valentine, V. And once I can get back into the classroom, I'll get that letter and I'll make a new foundations for us. Your afternoon lesson is to go on a letter hunt in your house and find items that start with letters in your name. Okay, so for example, Miss Chris, K, Chris, I would find maybe a kite. An R, what could I find? It would start with an R, and an I, and an S. So go along and do a little letter hunt today for your fun activity on this snowy, snowy day. And make your letter X. Please save it and return it, and I'll slip that into your journal. All right, look for a new story today, The Frog Prince, I will read, and have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.